Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game channel. Today we have a Arceus Regigigas deck review that me and Landen same 60 to Knoxville. We are actually recording this in the Knoxville hotel room, so shout out. We start with a 4-3 Arceus V-Star line. I miss not being able to have 4-4, but it's definitely okay. You need space for the 3-3 barrel lines that are coming up eventually. Just let you power up your attackers, whatever. 3-3 barrel, very good. I got 3 barrels out actually a couple times throughout the weekend. It's very nice to consistently get your barrels out, because that's kind of just what makes the deck work. As soon as you got a barrel and a score of it down, you're literally drawing like so much of your deck. It's insane. It allows for path, you know. Just getting a barrel down just lets you do whatever the deck wants to do. We have a 1-1 Regigigas line. So Regigigas V is good as it tanks a Roaring Moon Calamity Storm and it forces a Frenzied Gouging. It's also good because of Angry Whack. Angry Whack is 100 plus 10 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. This Pokemon is not confused. I've used this before. It's just a good attack to have. Regigigas V-Star does 230 for 3 energy, and the Star Guardian V-Star ability is if your opponent has 1 prize left, then you can just discard one of the Pokemon on the bench. I did not use this a single time. I don't know if Landen did either. So, 230 is just a good number. KOs, you know, the Roaring Moons, the Iron Hands, all that stuff. To round out the Pokemon, we got a 1 Skovit, 1 Spiritomb, and 1 Jirachi. Jirachi's really good into Tina as it plays around Roxanne Path. Sableye plays. Spiritomb's really good into Mew, Roaring Moon, and Zard. Roaring Moon is a new one that Tomb's been effective into, but it's good into the Ross Coffin 60s that play the Galarian Moltres V, as that's such an impactful thing. That's such an impactful part of the turn 1 attack. Skovit's insane. It's a 1 bench space that allows for Barrel to effectively draw 4 or 5 cards every turn. It's broken. I did Nest Dash out of bad hands a couple times. Like, I would preemptively Nest Ball for Skovit and just Nest Dash for a couple turns, trying to hit whatever I needed in the future because my hand was bad. So, our Pokemon search is 4 Nest Ball and 4 Ultra Ball. You're really just trying to prioritize Arceus Energy. Your ideal turn 1 is Arceus Energy with a Bidoof down. Or, like, I mean, your ideal turn is, like, 2 Arcs Bidoof, Arc V-Star in hand. But Arc V-Star, Arc Energy with a V-Star in hand and a Bidoof in play is all you really need. So max consistency options to make that happen as consistently as possible. We're playing 2 Lost Vacuum in the 60. Lost Vacuum is such a good card in this list. It allows you to path on turn 1 because you can bump your path with Lost Vacuum and put it back down. It allows you to Lost Vacuum for Seal Stones, which is such a huge part because people will force Seal Stone to preemptively play around Iono Path, and Vacuum allows that to not be an option. Vacuum's a very, very, very good card in this list. Escape Rope, Palpad are the last items we have in this deck. Palpad is nice as this deck is super tight now with the 3-3 B barrel line and the additional tools. So yeah, with the Palpad, you're able to cut a Judge and a Sharon, and you effectively have an extra deck slot. It's not ideal, but it's good enough, and Palpad's a very strong card. Used it quite often over the weekend. 4 Iono is your main draw supporter. It's one of your 5 draw supporters. Iono, very good for, you know, those comeback plays where you go Iono to 1 knockout. I had a game in a side event today, Win a Box, where I went from being down 2 to 4 prizes against Roaring Moon by just going Iono KO Greninja, attack, and he just edge drew. So I won a box because of that. That was pretty cool. 3 bosses orders. You wish to be playing 4. I misspoke. So you can actually cut a Sharon, a Judge, and a boss because of Palpad. So it opens up 2 deck slots with the Palpad. 3 boss, not ideal. 4 boss is way better in Arc decks, but you just, like I said, you have to fit so much in this deck with the additional tools that you just need to make room somewhere, and Palpad's kind of the min-max card. You play 1 Judge, 1 Sharon. So I would love 2 Sharon. Love 2 Sharon in this list, but you just cannot fit it. 2 Judge would also be nice, but 1 Judge was actually fine. I was very fine with going Starbirth, Judge, and then letting them KO an Arceus, and then all my Ionos are effectively Judges because they're down to 4 prizes. So 1 Judge was fine, 1 Sharon was just like, dang man, I really want another one of those. So the tool cards are very important in this list. I will actually reveal that last. We have Choice Belt, Box of Disaster, and Full Face Guard. Full Face Guard is a very, very good card. So it makes your Tina matchup very good. Full Face Guard is, if this Pokemon this card is attached to has no abilities, it takes 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So into Tina, on the first turn, you used to have to draw into like either the V-Guard or the DTE to attach to Arceus, so that you could prevent a turn 2 or 3 lost impact to KO the Arceus, which would just put you in a terrible spot. But now you can Full Face Guard. So Tina decks do not play a way to get around Path, so you can put a Path down in play and it's just there for the rest of the game. So Full Face Guard is like a consistent turn 2 way of making your Arceus be able to tank a lost impact. Very good card. It's also good on like Arceus Vs to make them go from 220 HP to 240 HP effectively, making it into a Regigigas V where it can't be KO'd by like Miraidons and, you know, Roaring Moon Calamity Storms. Such a good card. Choice Belt's there for the 210 because 210's so big in this format with the Pidgeot, and it also changes the numbers with a DTE'd Arceus. You can Choice Belt and KO a Rotom. It's also good into Crabominable V with Snorlax. It's very, very strong. A Box of Disaster is just for Guardy. I did actually have a game in a Winnabox today where I went Trinity Nova for 200, Box to my Arceus, and then he had to lost impact it. So it was able to effectively keep me in the prize race, which was really nice. It was probably the only reason I won that game. For Path of the Peak, best card in the deck. Path of the Peak is such an insane card. Iono Path late game is kind of what makes this deck viable. You're just one of the better decks at doing it. This deck is pretty much just Iono Path with Sharon and just an a large amount of bulk, I guess is the way to put it. Because they just have to put so many resources into KO 1 Arceus, especially if you Sharon's Care, and then you respond with an Iono to 4 or 2 and Path. So strong. I would consistently have opponents who were playing Gardevoir. I think I had it twice. I played against 2 Guardies in day 1, and most of those games that I played against them, they went down to 1 prize because they would Scream Tail or Bibarel, and I would just Iono them to 1 Path, KO, and they would just collapse. Very strong. 6 Water Energy. Looking back on it, I think this should be Fire Energy because it baits Radiant Zard. So going into this weekend, we were deciding which energy to play because we were like trying to bait things, because Water Energy baits potential Greninja Poppy, it baits Melanies, it baits stuff like that. Fire Energy baits Radiant Zard, Water Energy and Lightning Energies. I think this actually, I saw a list on Twitter that played 4 Water, 2 Lightning. I think that's way better because there was a list that did well in Liverpool that played Dragonite. So you could bait playing Arc Dragonite, you know, it's really all about that, but I think this either should have been cut 2 Water for 2 Lightning, or just play Fire Energies to bait something more relevant than Greninja Poppy, because that's just like obviously not in the list. And Melanie's not something they can play around. 4 DT, it's in every Arc deck, super strong, it's the only way you get turn 2 attack. 2 V-Guard and 2 Jet Energy. So, Jet Energy is nice. It's just a way to switch with the deck. It's what makes your Snorlax matchup, in my opinion, good, favored. I lost to it in top 8 today, but that's because I prized Tomb game 1, and they were able to Erica's Invitation 2 of my Arceus down. So, it got pretty tough, but V-Guard, very good for, you know, the turns where you can go attach V-Guard, turn 1, attach DTE into Tina, and prevent a lost impact. Very good. Just gives your Regigigas more bulk as well. Very good into Mew. So yeah, closing thoughts. This deck's really good, quite simple to play. I went into the regional just being like, I'll just go Arceus, attach, Judge Path, attach my energy, and I will just attack, and we'll see how it goes. And ended up doing me and Landen quite well indeed. So that was the Arceus Regigigas deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. Bye-bye.